New videos every day.
Hi, I'm Terri, and I was just going to share a little bit about what stillness and meditation has done to improve my quality of life and improve my experience and my journey. My experience exiting college was probably one of the worst times that I can think of in our nation and in the world. You know, it was like all the food crisis and all of the economy crashing and all of the turmoil between politicians. And in college, you're always taught to pay attention to the news, that's where the smart people go. You know, that's where educated people go to turn to in order to get their information and to know what's going on in the world. But I kept finding this really annoying thing where it was like every time I turned on the news, it was like really sad stories. And I kept thinking, there must be other things going on in the world other than all these terrible things. And exiting college, I had to go find a job in this world that I hadn't really been a part of. You know, like the institution of a university is very different than real life out on your own as an adult in terms of the structure of it. It's like you get grades, you don't get money, you usually you have some assistance from your parents, or you work a bunch of jobs to be able to put yourself through school. So either way, it's a struggle of I want to be on my own, but I'm not quite there yet. And then this entrance, this rite of passage into the real world and being a real adult. It's really something for my generation. I think it's really it's like this new age group where it's like we're in our adolescence. And I think of it between like 18 and 26, you know, where you're still kind of figuring things out. You're still trying to establish yourself financially and socially, and, you know, with your family and, you know, inside of yourself. And my experiences with being able to slow down and really connect with myself and who I am and the stillness that's inside of me has really benefited me being able to move forward, not even take on, but to move forward without being afraid and without being, without holding on to what's happened as if it's going to, has anything to do with what's happening right now. Because, you know, each moment is a different moment, and although they're all connected, they're each different, and you have different opportunities in every moment. So if you're thinking, oh, well, the whole economy's down, I can't find a job, then you apply that to the moment that you're in, then, you know, it kind of reflects back onto you. So my ability to really connect with the positive resources that I have inside of myself, and that I think every person has inside of themselves naturally, I've been able to really connect with moving forward in a positive way and being able to really sustain my 2 feet on the ground and be able to really support myself and move forward, you know, without, you know, I've had help along the way, of course, with friends and everything, but I think that that's also part of what I'm talking about, is reaching for the resources that are available to you in your community. And, you know, there's so many people. There's more people than anything else, really. And so
I'm going to ask you something kind of deep, and because it's what I'm thinking about as I'm hearing you speak. And here's what I'm getting in touch with as you speak is, who would think that something like stillness and becoming still and becoming quiet would be an avenue for you to reach out to community, for you to be more creative in your work, for you to be a positive thinker and be able to express yourself so clearly and so beautifully. Who would think that the act of just going, being still, doing something as seemingly mundane as just being quiet inside yourself and listening to your heartbeat and doing a few other things would have this kind of ability to help you know who you are. Is there anything that you can say about that for us?
I don't remember who told me this or how I kind of gathered this information growing up. But I remember someone telling me one time that you have 2 ears and 2 eyes for a reason, and 1 mouth for a reason as well. And you have these extra parts of your body so that you can observe and so that you can listen and so that you can see what's happening more than talking and just, blabbing on. And being still and being quiet. Like, I'm a communicator. I've always been super social and super friendly, but I know that by connecting with this quieter part of myself, it benefits not only me, but other people more. For me to be able to sit in a room and have a conversation, and although I have many stories I'd love to tell, I don't feel this urge to just spit it out. I can sense that, this person really wants to speak, and so I'm going to listen to what they say. And it's almost like a respect for, you develop a respect not only for other people, but also for yourself and for your thoughts and for your voice, and how those things all connect with each other, and how not every thought that you have is really something that you need to, get out. It's sometimes you can just let it go and just keep moving, and no one's gonna hold that against you. And so this work, to be able to really slow down and connect with myself, my parents have always been saying, well, Terri Jo, she'll just run and run until, she hits the ground. You can't even get her to stop. She never slows down. That's something that people have been telling me all the time. And I was so confused by well, what are you supposed to be doing? That's just the energy that I have to bring forward. But this work in connecting with stillness and meditation and allowing my inner self to not have a single thought in a moment is something that's really helped me to connect with other people. Because I think before, it's not really that I was thinking that much, but I was definitely moving a lot. And so I don't even think that I had the time to slow down to even listen to what someone was saying. I was just too busy going on to the next thing and just really excited to see what was next. And so this ability to slow down, not only has it helped in my listening and my observing, but it's also helped in my ability to slow down that what's next, and be in the moment right then and there. It's like I would get too ahead of myself, and I would just always be planning for the next moment because I was just so excited to do whatever it was that I was about to do. So this was a way to really slow down and be present and connect with myself and connect with whoever was there with me, and not disregard them as not important in that moment, and really acknowledge the situation and everything that was going on inside of the situation.
So I'm hearing a theme here of you becoming connected to and finding out who you are, and then you open to that in others. Which brings up that whole notion of our oneness. And so it seems so ridiculous to say we're one, because there's a body and here's a body, and yet we've heard in our spiritual learning and our spiritual teachings that we really are one. And one of the experiences that I'm hearing you say that you've brought out into the world is that experience that we have when we go inside our body, we leave the form because we close our eyes, we listen to our heartbeat, we get in touch with that rhythm, our own personal rhythm, thank you, our own personal rhythm that is like our life force. And then that life force is eternal, it's infinite, and it's connected to the whole universe. And so that's where we're one. But we're never disconnected from that when we come back to this form. And so what I'm hearing you say that's so powerful and so beautiful is that you have the opportunity to know who you are, and out of that knowing who you are is this compassion that you have for life and others, and who we all are and what we're all dealing with, just through stillness. Is there anything else you want to say about that? It's so powerful.
One of the biggest struggles that I dealt with growing up was the criticisms of others onto me. And people were really vocal towards me about the things that they thought and the way that they perceived me. And it really like confused me. It really baffled me in terms of like, is that real? Or like, is that really how I am? And so I would think about it so hard and try to figure it out so hard. And I would just, really struggle with trying to understand, I like them so much. Why don't they like me like I like them? Like how could, and people would always tell me these really good things. They'd be like, well, sometimes people just have experiences that make them react. It's like certain triggers trigger other people to respond to you in a certain way. But I knew it was more than that. I knew that there was something that I could do to calm the exchange, so that it wasn't so much of like, like if they were feeling a trigger, I could notice it and observe it and adjust myself to be able to be flexible in the situation, so that it wasn't like I could recognize right then and there how I was making them feel. It was almost like I could see the energy changing inside of the molecules that we are, just the energy that we all are. And so this work has really helped me to be able to, adjust and be flexible in any situation and really be aware of my surroundings and aware of the people while still remaining present and being the, happy-go-lucky person that I always was, while still, respecting other people and their space and their experiences and where they're coming from, and not expecting them to be in the same spot that I am, ready to go, just, on to the next thing, to be with them in that moment and to really connect. So it's really been supportive. This work has really been supportive to me in terms of learning how to interact in a more flexible way with other people and not necessarily take on the criticism as if it was a realistic explanation of who I am, but instead it was a realistic explanation of the energy that was exchanged in that moment and how I can adjust. These are like lessons. It's like how you can adjust so that, you create the relationships around you that you want. It's like you notice, and then you can create it into something different and make it more flexible and more fluid. So